So often our awakening comes through a physical injury or an illness, especially those ones that can't be diagnosed, are not easy, or maybe they don't even have an answer of how it is that you're going to get better. In this video, we are looking at why the body is a vehicle of awakening so that you can actually step through whatever that limitation is and really embrace your fullness.
Allow your heart to listen.
In this series, we have been exploring awakening. And in this episode, we are taking the next step that is understood energetically, that begins to happen through the awakening journey. Quite often, it comes through physical problems, limitations, the way in which physical life on earth, through our body, through the things here, not really working out for us. And that can make us feel really frustrated, like a victim, like we have to push through, make things happen, or, a sense of giving up. Can't I just get away from this body? Whether you're someone who pushes through or you're someone who gives up, and I've done both, so you might do both too. Both of those routes are an element of actually being a victim of overthinking or a victim of overfeeling. But either way, what we're actually doing is trying to escape the physical reality, the physical discomfort that we're in. And we're being asked and called by the body to come more intimate with the feeling and the experience that we have in this 3D world. I'm Nid, I'm a soul guide, and I support people through awakening. A lot of spiritual awakenings that come to me are physical, are people with chronic conditions that no one seems to be able to help them with, and it's a journey of understanding what it is that is happening within them and how is that happening? Why is it happening to serve them and to serve how they can love their life and really their body temple far more than they have done. And in this series, we're looking at this amazing world of awakening that we're in. And awakening is happening at every level and in so many different ways. But reality is to set us free, to make us root down so much into this reality that we actually liberate ourselves. And that happens in many ways and in so many unique ways, because that's why we have so many unique beings on this world, because there's so many ways in which it wants to happen and to occur and to rise through us. And to me, that's actually really exciting and a great honor to be a part of my unique way and to support others in their unique way too. So in the last episode, we just laid a contemplation in place around where it is that we might feel fear, to start to bring more awareness to our awakening, the way it happens and is reflected in life. But for those of you who may be like, I know it's physical. I know so much of my awakening happens through physicality. And mine did, definitely. I would not have awoken without the physical limitations of my brain injury, but there were multiple layers with a brain injury. It's not just one. You kind of get served the full dish, as it were, of emotional, mental, relationship, physical life stuff. Everything gets served up. And there's many conditions that actually do that. So there's many of you and many ways in which you might experience that physical restriction in your life. And often our first feeling can be the frustration at being restricted, at not being able to do what I want to do, especially if it's with the body. Like, behave yourself, get on board, do what I'm asking you to do. And in a way, that's because our relationship with our bodies has been confused. And the awakening that happens as we start to dive into how we make ourselves a victim is first and foremost through the body. That in some way this body is limited and is here to serve our ego's desires of what we're going to do with it. How it is that our emotions get in the way of what it is that we want to experience or express, or how we have relationships, and these messy, unpredictable emotions, make us behave crazy or make other people behave crazy. And so we then start placing judgments and other feelings that get in the way and confuse our relationships, and in particular our relationship with ourselves and life, feeling more negative, feeling more fear, feeling less trust. And that's one of the key pieces here, is our relationship with our body and our trust in our body. When it stops behaving how we think we want it to behave, there's a temptation that the body is then made into a bad guy. It's non-compliant, and therefore we can't trust it to actually do what we want when we want to. And so there's a distrust. I quite like to think of the body as a little bit like having a baby or a pet. It talks to us through sensations and what it will and won't do. And that's a bit like a crying baby or an animal that like lies on its belly and refuses to go for a walk down the street and is like gluing itself to the floor. They're trying to express something and we don't listen. We want it to be through the way we're used to communicating, and our body has the same way. It's listening to it, and it's the intimate relationship that we have with the body that actually helps that deepening of awakening, of building trust, because it's a relationship with the body and its senses that we are building trust in relationship with, to navigate how to then walk our lives. The body is an amazing awakening tool because it gives so much guidance about where is a yes and where is a no. And when there isn't a yes or a no, either to stay or to explore until there is a yes or a no. So the body is this very powerful director, and it's a collaborator. And yet there can be a temptation to see the body as a thing that makes us a victim. One of the pieces I found very interesting was the question posed to women around would they rather be in a woods with a bear or a man? And the majority of women picked a bear. And as a woman, I would say I would probably have said the same thing, and I would have similar reasons around why. Because if pain is going to be inflicted upon me, it's quite straightforward with a bear, and people would say it was true. Whereas the part of me that as a woman has been the most fearful in my life is about what men can do to me and whether or not I will be believed or heard. And it is this fear of our body, of what can be done to it, how the trauma of that is going to be cared for afterwards, that builds the foundation of fear, and therefore the desire not to feel fear and to therefore escape, leave the body and not want to be intimate with what it is that it's feeling. And yet it is Jill Bolte Taylor who has said that, according to neuroscience, emotions only last for 90 seconds through the body and then they're gone. But it is our suppressing, our holding on to an emotion that then gets it stuck in the connective tissue, in the fascia, and then the body holds it and the trauma stays, and we reignite it, we reignite it, we reignite it, and we make it stronger and stronger, and it's stuck patterning rather than letting it move through. And it is that fear that stops us wanting to be so intimate with the body, because once we felt it or we're worried about feeling it, we then avoid really dropping into the feeling and the guidance system that is here. And yet it's through all of your senses, and not just the main external ones, but also our interoception. It's also to do with our clair senses, our intuitive senses, that are actually really going to guide you and really take you forwards. So we want to drop into intimacy, because this is what is going to actually hold you stable through these times of change. Through an awakening, it is actually the physical, sensory, intimate experience of how the body feels sensations, of how emotions feel in the body, and how your thoughts even may be felt in the body. And this is where I love the Yoga Nidra rotation of consciousness, to drop us into that sense feeling in the body. But we can't always drop into a full yoga nidra. And so today I wanted to invite you into a very short and simple way that you can drop into intimacy and start to be more safe in your body. Because your body actually inherently does feel safe. Because it is the container that you've chosen to be in this lifetime, to experience very intimately this awakening. So we're going to drop into the sensations in the mouth. You can let your mouth close. Let the teeth be separated and the tongue rest wherever feels comfortable. You might close your eyes to bring a little bit more awareness inwards to those sensations in the mouth. Just notice the temperature inside the mouth. Movement and natural production of saliva in the mouth. And if you need to settle, move the tongue a little inside and feel the back of the teeth, the roof of the mouth. You might wiggle the jaw a little and see if there's an easing of tension in the jaw and the face. Perhaps as the tongue settles, sensing the cheek on the right side. And sensing the cheek on the left side. Sensing the floor of the mouth. Perhaps feeling into the sensations in the roof of the mouth. Notice the sensations at the back of the mouth. And just tuning in to the lips. And observing all of the sensations in the mouth. This orb of sensation. The tongue in the middle of the mouth. Sense into a part of the tongue that senses more than another. Just inviting this sensory space of the mouth to fill the head as though the senses are getting larger. As though you could zoom into particular senses to explore them in more depth. Start to gently bring awareness back to the body, noticing any sensations in other parts of the body as you return. That intimacy, like within the mouth, tuning in to those sensations. Perhaps expanding into them a little more, curious to feel a little more. And you may wish to affirm to your body, I am safe to be divine in human form. I am safe in this human form. And when you're ready, you may wish to come back into your day and use this at any time to support you. Just tuning in to your mouth and its sensations. To start to bring you into that intimacy, the sensations of the body. To build that trust by reconnecting with it frequently. And with trust comes that sensation and experience of safety within, regardless of what is going on outside. This body came here as a vehicle to be in this experience and to feel what there is in this body is a blessing, the one that the soul seeks. Because in the awakening spiral, this is our core layer. This is where the soul comes in, and it's such a foundation for awakening. So many try to bypass, escape, mentally overly think and problem solve and fix our way. And yet it's landing in the body that is going to take us through dynamic change. It is the intimacy of feeling the body that will hold stable and safe as things unfold and grow and metamorphosize. And if you would like to receive more support, then please join us on the free monthly call, or you're welcome to take the free 7-day trial in your sanctuary, where you can discover and connect with a lot more tools and resources and receive free guidance with me in live sessions of our groups. And in the next episode, we will begin to explore the field, our place of belonging, and how it is that in awakening, we're actually seeking emotional coherence. And how it is that through our emotions, we navigate and change in our relationships very often to find deeper emotional coherence and therefore nervous system regulation. I look forward to seeing you in that episode. But until then, have a wonderful week.
Thank you for joining. Have a wonderful day.